Hello and welcome. Today I'm bringing you a ranked battle where I'm in the tier 8 German battleship, the Bismarck. The reason why I want to show this match is because there's a problem with spawns, especially on the maps Trident and Neighbors. Because the spawns are too close. I don't mean the spawn bug where a ship can spawn in some seemingly random location or like in the middle of the map or on the enemy team's side. I mean that the spawns themselves are too close. This isn't the best example I have had of this behavior, but it is pretty good in showing it in my opinion. Because as you notice, both teams have aircraft carriers. They are both Lexingtons that have 17.5 kilometer concealment range as base. And as you can see, it's 50 seconds into the game I've spotted the enemy Bismarck at 14 kilometers. I've also had games where a ship is spotted on Trident less than 10 seconds into the match. Like the game starts and the battleship hasn't even gone up to speed yet, and he's already spotted by the enemy team and is within range of being fired upon. That is really odd, and this hurts carriers a lot. Because if a carrier gets those kinds of spawns, they are going to be shot at, and it'll take a long time. Like, look at that. We can already see the enemy Lexington. And the Lexington actually turned away at first. Like, she didn't sail towards us. But unfortunately for her, she didn't quite sail quite the way he should have. She should have sailed further away. Like, at this point, our Lexington hasn't got much further than she spawned at either, so... I mean, sure, you could do slightly better, but not by all that much. I heard from strangers that he had a game where a Lexington was killed something like 40 seconds into the match. And this one's dead by 2 minutes. Think about it, 2 minutes into the game your carrier is already dead. Not to the enemy carrier. The planes of the enemy carrier really haven't even got that far properly, but to the battleships. Because these spawns are absolutely way too close. You just can't do all that much. Sure, you could sail slightly further away, but that doesn't guarantee you're not going to be spotted and shot at. Because our carrier could spot the enemy Lexington for certain, if she went around, and there is literally no chance that the enemy carrier would get out of range of our battleships. Like, look at the minimap. My guns cover the entire map. And, I mean, so does the North Carolina and the Tirpitz. The Amag is slightly less, but she still would be able to cover that side of the enemy team. And this problem is pretty big on Trident and Neighbors, in my opinion, and I really do hope that Wargaming does something to it. Because carriers are... I mean, sure, it won't be a very big problem because carriers are almost non-existent in ranked, because you need to have another carrier to, face. At higher ranks, that is like rank 10 plus, you see carriers more, but the lower you get, the less carriers you will be seeing. And that's where the bulk of the matches happen, so that's why you probably won't see as many carriers, and that's probably why they won't see it as a very big problem. But it still is. One day I would like to see carriers in this game. Because the enemy team already lost their Lexington, they really have no chance of winning this game. Especially since our Lexington is strike and theirs was air superiority, which meant that, their Lexington was the one that should have kept us in check, or ours in check. Now there isn't nothing, so our Lexington just runs wild. And honestly, all we would have to do to win this game is to just run away. Because eventually, the Lexington should pick the enemies off, especially with the way that the enemy team is positioning. They aren't grouping up for maximum anti-air. They are pretty much as far apart as they should be efficiently to not have any use for each other against the carrier. Also, I'm sailing towards them because they've already lost the battleship and the carrier. They are 2 ships down, well 3 ships now, so I feel that they don't really threaten the victory of this match anymore. I think this match has already been decided. it was barely 5 minutes and the game's already over pretty much. Like, I can't imagine what they would have to do to come back in this one. Sure, they will probably kill me, because there are still 4 of them left, but even if they do, at what cost? They've lost so much already. By the way, the reason why I'm not shooting the broadside ammo is because of the former video, and I know that I would just get almost no damage. Actually, at range it's even worse. At range you tend to not even get penetrations. I don't know why, it just feels that Yamagi is incredibly good at fighting Bismarcks and Tirpitzes. Okay, I'm gonna take that torpedo. Unfortunately, I didn't turn quite the right way. So I keep turning so that maybe it'll hit my TDS instead of the ship itself, but oh well. I got taken out 6 minutes into the match. But they only have 2 ships left, so it's not like it really matters. But yeah, basically, my point here is that the spawns on these 2 maps, Trident and Neighbors, are too close. Like, even if you exclude the carrier part, even the battleships spawn way too close. If you're unlucky, you get spotted immediately that the game starts and you can't really maneuver the way you would want to. You can't go into position because enemies are already shooting at you. I had a match on Trident where I lost half my HP before I even moved 1 square of the map in my Bismarck. Because I was just spotted and all the enemy battleships just shot me. Okay, sorry, I think I might have moved 1. Maybe 2, I guess. Also, in regards to rank battles, I think destroyers are very powerful. Not because of their magical strength or something, but I just feel that destroyers have an easier time at carrying games due to the fact that there don't seem to be as many destroyers as battleships, and so each individual destroyer matters slightly more than normal. At least that's from my experience from rank 6 to 10. And my biggest regret is actually playing the Kutuzov, because while the Kutuzov is a very powerful cruiser, she isn't very good at carrying because her main strength is smokescreens, and she isn't very good at pushing. She doesn't bring radar, she doesn't bring hydro, so she is not very good at taking out destroyers. So her main strength lies in just burning ships down, but the games don't last long enough for you to do significant damage with that. Like, this game has lasted for 8 minutes, they've lost 6 ships in a moment. Sure, the Kutuzov played a part, but I mean, how much damage are you going to do with fires in this kind of a game unless you get super lucky? Not that much. And the HE on the Kutuzov isn't that effective. Like, look at it. I died in 6 minutes and I did 126,000 damage. There is no way you're gonna do something like that in a Kutuzov. And on top of that, I tanked damage too. And shot down planes, although the Kutuzov can do the latter, I guess. Although smoke is very powerful. I believe Kutuzov is going to be better in ranks 2 to 5, because then people are better and games last longer. So, yeah, basically, this was a match where I just sailed towards the enemies and attacked them. I did 126,000 damage, I got First Blood High Caliber. First Blood wasn't even on the enemy carrier. 3 Citadel hits, that was actually extreme luck. And slightly below 1900 experience. And it was a flawless victory. Wait, no, sorry, it wasn't, I died. My bad. And that's the damage. I was alive for 5 minutes 54 seconds. I did 126,000 damage in that time. I sank the enemy Bismarck, Lexington, and North Carolina. And I did significant damage to another Tirpitz. In that time, I had a potential damage of 1.6 million. So the games in ranked, especially the lower rank ones, lower, that is, I mean, 10 plus, etc., something like that, they are very quick. And because of that, you can't really always do all the things you would normally do in ships. And I feel that destroyers are important because of that. However, I definitely feel that these spawns are just too close. I find that mountain range is much better because ships spawn further away. They can actually make strategies on where to go, what to do specifically, and don't have a fear of being spotted and shot at while after spawning right away. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and keep that in mind when picking ships. And now I would like to thank the Patreons on Patreon who helped this channel keep going. Thank you very much for your continued support, Active02, and I hope I see you guys next time.